Oi, prick! What did you call me?
Shaun of the Dead reference. Anyway, are we doing this or what?
It is inevitable.
The prophecy foretells.
Hello and welcome to Love Hate Films, the show all about films, whether you love them, if they're good, bad or indeed ugly. And today, mind-blowing. What's the matter with you then?
I've just had to endure torture, quite literally. So today, we're coming at you with the Wachowski brothers, siblings.
Wachowskis.
Sister,
The Wachowskis.
The Wachowskis. With The Matrix Reloaded.
So we told you that we would do a film where one of us loves it and one of us hates it. So this is the film we chose because I absolutely love the Matrix trilogy, and The Matrix Reloaded is my favourite out of the three.
And I would rather be fucking lobotomised. But there we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Love Hate Films is indeed all about. And I've got a few holes that...
Have you now? In the film, you mean?
In the film.
Right, I get you.
In the film. So to kick this off, why don't we ask the insane man himself, what is the prophecy and is it foretold indeed? What is going on?
There you go.
You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged.
So essentially, Neo is the one. He's the chosen one. It works, or turns out in the film, that he is the remainder of an equation that needs to be balanced, and he is the factor that balances it.
That's it. And it's funny actually you say that he's the one, because there's a very, very lazy anagram.
Of Neo. It's not lazy, it's good.
It's
catchy.
terrible.
And Neo also means new, and he is new. He's the one in the Matrix that can bend the Matrix to his will, or see the code and break the rules.
That's it, particularly in the first one where he manages to take out Agent Smith just by going through him. But in this one, despite the fact that 1,000 are touching him, oh Jesus, and the dodgy, ropey special effects. I mean, by those day standards.
They were cutting edge then. So in the first one, obviously, there was a little bit of CGI. But this one, especially in the Agent Smith fight, there was a lot of CGI in it. And yes, by today's standards, they're ropey. But then, it was absolutely the limit. They did it in the first one by inventing bullet time and broke the boundaries. And it came out at the same time DVDs came out, as I've already mentioned. My first DVD was The Matrix, because the format was made for it. And this one, it took it to another level. Again, for its time, which we're talking over 15 years ago now, cutting edge. Nobody had done anything like that before. And you can't knock the special effects, because at the time, brilliant. Obviously now, not.
No, this is it. But then we had to be grateful for such, glorious violence within this, because let's face it, compared to the other, quite lackluster. I mean, about half an hour other than Trinity's initial dream sequence, which once again is a dream sequence, we're not really getting anywhere.
So that's him seeing the future. So that actually happens in the story, because he's moved on, he's evolved, and he's got the sight now, and you can't see past what choice you don't understand, and that comes back into it later on when he's talking to the architect, and the architect says the only problem they have is choice, and people have to choose to be in the Matrix, otherwise they break out. That's the equation that doesn't work. That's what's left over, and that's what Neo's there to control. He's the control function.
And the architect is there as your sort of, Cambridgey professor, knows it all, and says absolute bollocks that quite frankly nobody understands.
And just to prove my point, here's an actual transcript. No, seriously, this is an actual transcript from The Matrix. Well, you guys wanted to see this shit? Enjoy! Totally going down for the record and saying here, if any of you pretend that you understood that, you're fucking lying.
If you can tell me that you deciphered any sort of message from that, my friend, I will give you my fortune, which is not much, but I will give you it nonetheless.
It's not necessarily a message in it. He explains how the Matrix works and how Neo comes about and why he's there and why he's needed. He does touch on questions of humanity, and he says like hope, the quintessential strength, and then utmost failure of humanity. And yeah, it does. It's not stupid what he says. It perfectly tells the story.
But then,
I don't see why you don't get it.
But in a very, very odd way. And then only to show Keanu Reeves then swearing into every TV. It's just like sort of the beginning of the Watchmen.
Those are the choices behind him. So that's the whole problem that they have, is choice. And behind him is meant to be every different alternative reality of what choice he makes at that given time. And it zooms into one of the TVs because that's the choice that we're following as it goes. So that again builds strength to the structure that the architect has created for the Matrix.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense to me.
So, okay, we'll go along these lines. We'll ride this train to the next terminus. Until we realise the point that, you know what, chicken's fucking chicken. I love chicken regardless. Chicken is good. Chicken is damn fucking good.
Yeah, but everything tastes like chicken, because how does a computer know what chicken tastes like?
Right,
That's in the first one.
Next question is chicken. Why does anybody give a shit? And what's more, a chocolate cake has never made me jizz. I'm going to say that.
Well, that's because you've never had the chocolate cake with the special code in it.
Apparently not. Apparently
the
not.
Merovingian don't fancy you.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He's around chasing after foreign women asunder with apparently Windows 95 graphics between their legs. I was half expecting a 3.5-inch floppy to fall out.
Yours has done that many times, I'm sure. So again, that's by those standards was cutting edge graphics.
Thin ice you. You've already made me watch this piece of shit. Now don't make me fall out with you. Don't make the rookie. But
so bits I loved about it, reasons I like it and think it's better than the first one. The Agent Smith fight is phenomenal. I like martial arts, and one of my favourite all time is obviously Bruce Lee, as he is with everybody's. And the Agent Smith fight, the way it was choreographed, the wire effects that they used, it was brilliant. It was just so well done. And yes, they interplayed it with CGI, which was a little bit ropey in places, and you could spot it, but it was still great. Yeah, it was one of the best fight scenes, if not the best fight scene in any film, any martial arts film anywhere. I will put that out there and say I believe that. Whether you do or don't, let me know. But for me, it is the best martial arts fight scene in any film. And the close second is the one where they're then in the mansion and they're using all the weapons and he's fighting in the staircase. That's brilliant as well. Absolutely phenomenal. And he just gives it the look and stops all the bullets.
The man who has every power of Krypton under his belt, and yet he apparently needs to resort to nunchucks. But there you go. And please get commenting.
He didn't use nunchucks.
Oh, sorry. What was it? Actually, a battle axe of some description?
Yeah, he had that. He had the sides, and he had the screamer sticks. Well, which was a spear broken in half, but he used them as a screamer sticks. Anyway, great scene.
And the man who doesn't like Twilight, but somehow likes twins with white albino-style dreadlocks, sparkling and disappearing, and what's more, fighting Morpheus, not Neo. That would have been a far better match, because let's face it, Agent Smith, we already proved he can just teleport into them, he can absorb them, he's that much of a powerful entity. Did we forget the first movie for the next two?
No, because that was the thing. By Neo going into him, it changed his code, or some of Neo rubbed off on him. He's now unbalancing the equation that Neo is there to do it, and that goes on into the third film where everybody's an Agent Smith and he's breaking the Matrix, and that's why the machines then get Neo to go and kill him, because he's the only one that can equal the equation, balance it out, get everything back to normal so the machines can carry on, and then they stop the war, and then anybody that chooses not to be in the Matrix anymore doesn't get killed and hunted down by the machines, they just get left to go live in Zion and be a free race. Done. How do you not understand that?
Ladies and gentlemen, the architect. Talking bollocks.
It's not. It makes perfect sense. The whole trilogy was great. And The Matrix is coming out in 4K soon, so I think I'll get that.
That's the thing, I'll give you. It was good. It was. The Matrix itself. But the second two, fundamentally, my God, have I got some questions. And not excluding the Keymaster. Was it the Keymaster?
Yeah, the Keymaker.
The Keymaker, yeah. By the way, been done before. Gwildor, Masters of the Universe. Watch it. But
probably about the same height as Gwildor as well.
Probably, yes, yeah. But he's sat there sharpening more or less with some sort of Stanley knife. This key
He's
to
got a
try.
lathe in the background. When you first see him, he's on his lathe.
Yeah, but then
That's
why
what
didn't they just
Keymakers
go
use.
down the local DIY store, half an hour with some spotty ass kid who's 16 got his first job? They would have had a fucking new key
Because
done.
these are special keys. They're not just any old front door key. This is the key to get through to the back doors of the Matrix. You can go anywhere you want. It needs a special key maker, somebody that can make the code in the key.
But yet they've got a direct link to
That's
a very
just a
popular
symbol.
Swedish furniture manufacturer. Because it seems that Morpheus always has a comfy leatherback chair.
He does, yeah.
In a derelict atmosphere. They try and make it look cool, retro, hipster. Is it? Fuck, it's beautiful. It would cost you an absolute bomb. And it just appears.
It's a nice chair. Morpheus deserves a nice chair. And anyway, that's in the construct, so that's in they can create that. So that's why he's got his own nice chair.
That's it, and I understand
And
as
anyway,
well
the
that
key
his daughter's got a special casting couch, but there you go.
Let's not touch on that. But the key, anyway,
Let's not touch on that. This film touched on me.
it's symbolic. Remember, there is no spoon.
Now, you're leading on to more bugbears here. In that, we had the Oracle in this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once again, was there a forgetting of the entire events at first? We really could have actually started the film from the point that the Oracle actually arrives, which I believe is about a good 60 minutes into it. The rest of it really is erroneous bollocks. Where did Tank go? Wait, we couldn't afford his budget. We'll just kill him off with a lazy storyline.
It wasn't lazy. He got killed off by Agent Smith. How was that lazy?
No mention, such a cool character from the first.
You saw him die in the first, so he died at the end.
No, he was alive at the end.
He got shot, didn't he?
He got shot, he survived.
No, he died later. I don't know.
This argument is just like the film's content. Pointless, just pointless.
Not pointless. Anyway.
Anyway.
I've not fully researched that bit. You've surprised me with that one, but I'm sure I'll watch it again and specifically figure out where he is. And if they say that he ain't having it no more, he ain't having it no more.
No,
What's wrong with
that's-
that?
Okay, fair enough. And other issues. Zion, now, what is it with the 90s club raver scene orgy that appears to go on? You know, you had a bit of PG-13
What about
Trinity.
television in Zion? What else are they going to do in an evening?
Well, apparently masquerade around and, you know, have some sort of weird cultural shag fest. I don't know.
That's what you do in a dystopian future, surely.
Well, and
And so again, another good point for it. How many dystopian future films are there now? Loads. And this one sort of kicked it off. Well, it didn't kick it off because there were ones before it, but it was of its time, or before its time then, in that way.
That's it, and I feel that it has inspired quite a lot in terms of sort of, you know, Zack Schneider slow motion, but then they actually did something good with it. Whereas if you watch this film, there is actually a lot of pointless slow motion. Rewatch it, particularly around the scenes around the freeway and the sort of big truck at the end.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, inconsistent traffic.
They built an entire highway just to film that. Like that whole highway, they built it and then they filmed on it. So an inconsistent traffic, continuity on cars moving at 80 miles an hour through a motorway, not going to be easy, is it?
But then in literal
You've
shots
seen
where
Bullet, the yellow Beetles in every other scene in the car chasing Bullet.
That's
It's
it.
not easy.
Or clearly Arnold Schwarzenegger's, what was it, a Ferrari that went up in, I can't remember the film. I will have to do some research and come back to you with this one. spectacularly shit, but maybe not as shit as The Matrix 2. I don't know. Just for me, it's a hate. I can't get on with it. I really can't. Spandex and a lot of jumping around. Which, speaking of which, spandex doesn't hide fucking wires. I don't know what you were thinking when you got Trinity halfway up, but believe me, I saw the Pinocchio effect. Just poorly thought out. There's far too much jargon.
That's latex, isn't it? Or no, leather.
Sorry,
know.
latex.
PVC. That's what it is, yeah.
PVC, yes. Yeah, wonderful invention.
Seemed to look alright on Trinity.
I'll give you that, indeed. But then, do you not think a female Keanu Reeves, actually? Just in terms of that's kind of close. They could be siblings.
They're all dressed that way. That's the style of the film. Again, the aesthetic of it is great. The look of it was copied in lots of different films. Have you ever seen Equilibrium with Christian Bale? That's an exact copy of The Matrix.
And Sean Bean, yeah.
Yeah, he was in it, yeah. So yeah, it's good enough for people to replicate, so and that's the highest form of flattery, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, what do you fancy doing after this? Should we do some gaming? Oh wait, hold on. Actually, no, we won't do any gaming after this review.
Why not?
I can't be bothered. Do you want to watch a film? Do you want to watch another film?
No. Why don't you want to do some gaming? I want to do some gaming.
The console's not set up and
yeah, it's just there. There's a controller. It's on. Well, what are you playing?
On. Yes. No. Yes. No.
You're not looking at that collection. All right, it's The Matrix. For fuck's sake, it's The Matrix.
So you played a game then?
But any film that the game is better than, surely it's got to be terrible.
Game's not better than the film. The game is based on the film. The game is only of that script because it follows the film. So it can't be better.
Oh. But, look, what can I say? I'm not a fan. The Wookiee, for the Wookiee, it's a thumbs down.
Out of 10, what are you giving it?
I'm going to give it a -1.
You can't give it a -1.
Okay,
It's
all right.
groundbreaking.
3.2.
3.2, jeez. I'm going to give it 8.5 because I really liked it.
8.5, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair for a movie that's got, 90 minutes of pointless bullshit ensuing from the start. But this has got me slightly inspired, though, on the gaming front, because think of it, you don't get the opposite. You don't get sort of many games that then translate well into film, do you? You have the likes of Super Mario Brothers, which has been slated. You've got Mortal Kombat, which have been slated. Street Fighter. Raul Julia.
I like that Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. It was just comic strip, but which wasn't really the game. But anyway, I still liked it. So I think that's changing though, because with the likes of the new Tomb Raider, based on the game, great film I have to say.
Yeah.
So I think that's coming around, and the films about games are getting better. Resident Evil, how many of those films were there?
Exactly.
Seven of those is there. So yeah, obviously it's big money making.
Oh, interesting little Easter egg. Maybe perhaps we're going on to categories soon. And speaking of sort of categories and our inspiration behind it, we do want to just do a very, very big shout out for the numerous comments that were left in the last reviews section.
Yay.
Guys! Yay! Thank you! Yay!
All feedback is welcome, good or bad. We will look at it and review it, and if it's a great idea, we'll do it. If somebody came up with a great idea,
exactly. Simon indeed came up with the idea of doing somewhat of more of a categorised show, something a bit tighter.
Was it Simon?
It was Simon for that idea, yeah. Although we did also have a little bit of feedback from Zombie, which I'm very, very sorry that I slated Brazil, but absolutely I'm glad the Serbian movie brought a background. So if you're watching this episode, thank you for your support, indeed. And also, I believe down in the description of the last review, you will have to go and watch it. Just thanks for commenting, mate. Good on you.
Cheers.
Good luck.
So, if you have an opinion about The Matrix or any film, go to LoveHateFilms.com, write your review, or put your comments in the space below, and we will get back to you.
That's it. And the Wookiee also wants you to spam this comment section with any film that has been turned into a game, that, or vice versa, that either or hasn't worked. Its counterpart just hasn't worked. So Super Mario Brothers the movie. You know, which of them worked? Debatably so. Just leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think as well to what we're doing, and we'll be back at you soon with another review.
Job done.
But guys, until the next time, may the force be with you.
Always.
And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.